Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the beautiful Compton Family Ice Arena for another installment of Q&A with Fighting Irish Hockey coach Jeff Jackson. My name is Darin Pritchett. I call Fighting Irish Hockey games on Real Country 99.9 and UND.com. We'll introduce our panel. I think you know this guy, Irish head coach Jeff Jackson. We also have, to my left, defenseman Sam Calabrese, forward Kevin Nugent, and goaltender Mike Johnson. Our event tonight, presented by Outback Steakhouse and Bonefish Grill. The Irish taking on Bowling Green, final home regular season series coming up Friday and Saturday here at the Compton Family Ice Arena. We're going to talk to the players first. We'll get to your questions and some comments from Coach Jackson coming up in just a couple of moments. First off, I've got Sam Calabrese sitting next to me. You're a Chicago guy. You're a Windy City guy. You got to play at Soldier Field against Miami, and the Irish won that game 2-1. What was that experience like as a Chicago guy?
It was a lot of fun. I think the best part about it was just having all my family and friends there to watch. Being from Chicago, the closest college hockey is either Notre Dame or Wisconsin. So to be able to bring it to them and play in Chicago with them was a great experience, and it was fun to play outdoors.
As you take a look at the way the team is playing right now defensively, as a guy along the blue line, how would you sum up the way the team has started to turn things around the last couple of weeks?
I definitely think we've made strides the past couple of weeks in our defensive game. We've really made it a focus in practice, and guys are really committed to playing good team defense. The forwards have done a great job coming back and helping us out, and holding Western Michigan to only one goal on Saturday night was really important for the D-Corps, and I think it's something we were all pretty proud of, and hopefully can keep it to a shutout in those next games.
Sam, how would you describe what your experience has been like as a student athlete at Notre Dame?
It's been an incredible experience. The whole university makes it easy for you. There's just so many resources here, and playing in front of such great fans. It's unlike any other school. For all the sports here, we just have so much support, and tonight just shows that it's an incredible experience, and it makes it fun playing at home.
You've got a home series coming up against Bowling Green. I know there's a lot of big games yet to come during your senior campaign, but put into perspective what it means to you playing your final regular season home games this week. And of course, we know the second round of the CCHA tournament will be here as well.
It's going to be a special experience. Growing up, you never really want to stop playing hockey, and especially college hockey. It's it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and to have our last home games here at Notre Dame as seniors. It's something we never thought would come this quick. Just talking about it with the other guys is, you never want that moment to come, but I think it's going to be bittersweet, and it's going to be fun to close out the Compton, and I think we're all happy we also were able to play in the Joy Center.
Sam Calabrese, number 8, Fighting Irish defenseman. Next up, fiddle number 20. Forward, Kevin Nugent, whose father played here at the University of Notre Dame. And I believe he scored over 100 points in his career. So first off, talk about your dad playing here, you getting to play here, and what he has meant to your hockey career.
First, I just want to say thank you for pointing out that he has 100 points. He's 90 more than me, so thanks, Darren. Humbling moment. Growing up, I've always been just drawn to Notre Dame and its unbelievable academics and athletics, and I knew from day one that if I had an opportunity to be able to go to this university, I would. So I definitely feel blessed that Coach Jackson, Coach Cooley, Coach Slider gave me the opportunity to come here, and hopefully I'm making my dad proud a little bit. I know I don't have as many points as he does, but I think I'm a better guy than I'm over. So.
Talk about that first career goal a couple of weeks ago, because the biggest cheerleader in the stands was your dad, who I think sits like 3 rows behind the bench.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it was just a big goal for our team. I think that was right in the middle of our tough stretch. It was against Florida State. Hopefully I was able to provide a little spark, and since that goal, I think we've gone, I think we've won 6 out of our last 8 games or something like that. So hopefully, I think it was a big goal for me personally, just for confidence reasons, but I think it was more important for our team to, get back on the, little winning streak we had.
Kevin, talk about what your experience has been like as a student athlete at Notre Dame.
It's been awesome. Just kind of to echo what Sam said, they give you so many resources. They, give you any tutor you need, and we have such an awesome academic, advisor staff with, Chad and Adam and all those guys. And it gets hard here and there. You have to really manage your time well, but I think I've learned a lot since I was a freshman. I think, the first time I came in, I was a little overwhelmed. But kind of throughout the years, you kind of get the hang of it. And I remember, it seems like yesterday we were in study hall doing our work, not goofing around, I promise. But it's crazy to think that it's gone this fast. But I just want to mention really quickly that Nick Larson is not here today. He will disagree that it's gone quick. He makes a point to let everyone know that it's been a long, slow 4 years, but that's only because he's not as gifted in the classroom as us three.
Not sure where to go after that, but Kevin, just kind of sum up how important this weekend is coming up for the Irish.
It's huge. I know we have our first round series at home, and we're still jostling for position against Western Michigan. We're hoping to take second place and maybe even get first here. So it's huge just for our confidence to get 2 wins this weekend against Bowling Green starting Friday night. And they're a really hard-working team, so I think we're going to need to match their work ethic every single shift. And I think we're all really excited to get things going this weekend.
Kevin Nugent, everyone. Now we come to the goaltender. Number 32, Mike Johnson, Verona, Wisconsin. Well, it's very interesting. There aren't too many teams in the country that have brothers on the same team. Eric, of course, defenseman for the Fighting Irish, big part of the blue line so far this year. How much did you guys play together as kids, and also, was it ever a goal to play for the same college?
Growing up, we never played together on an organized team. We always played street hockey and stuff, but never on an organized team together. So it's been a really cool experience for us and our family to have that experience. I think it's definitely something that we are going to cherish for the rest of our lives. So he's one of my best friends. So I think that the last couple of weeks that I'm here is going to be pretty special with him. So.
And maybe just talk a little bit about his development. Didn't get a chance to play last year, and now playing a lot of minutes for the team.
Yeah, it's really exciting for him. He's really taken on a new role, and I think he's really embracing it and working really hard. And it's really good to see him come from not playing at all to playing some minutes. So it's pretty cool.
Seems like it was yesterday. We were at the Frozen Four up in Minnesota. As the goaltender for the Fighting Irish, put into perspective what that team did so well that got them to that point, and do you see some of the same characteristics in this team?
I think that team was we just worked really hard all year, and we really fought in the face of adversity. And I think we're showing signs now after our little lull for a couple weeks. We're really showing signs where there are going to be points of adversity in every game, but being able to rebound and come back that much stronger, I think is definitely a sign of a really good hockey team. I think we're showing that now.
And talk about your experience as a student athlete here.
Obviously, echoing what they said, it's been it's been an awesome experience. I think one thing that they didn't mention that I thought was really cool was the relationship that the student athletes have together, not just within our team, but within other teams like the basketball team, the football team, and the lacrosse team. We really we all get along. We all kind of know what each other are going through, and it's not easy. It's definitely fun, but we all can relate to each other, and it's a really cool bonding experience for all of us. So obviously we have the resources and things that we need to get the job done in the classroom and on the ice. But it's been an awesome experience, and I'll never forget it.
Mike Johnson, everyone. Another member of the senior class, as Kevin mentioned, Nick Larson couldn't be here tonight. So, Coach, sum it up. What has this senior class meant to the program?
Well, they're all 4 of them, and they actually started with a much bigger class. There's a few other guys that are no longer here, but you know, this group here, along with Nick, I have to say, in all reality, I mean, they talk about character, you know, the work ethic and the attitude. They've all been, it had an impact on the success of our team over the last 4 years. And to me, even more importantly, I think they've had an impact on the culture of our team in a real positive way, and that's because of the type of kids they are. You know, they all have great attributes in the locker room, and you know, they're all special kids. I think they all come from great families, and you know, I can't say how proud I am of all of them for what they've accomplished here, and not just on the ice, but if you think of some of the things that they've done in service. You know, Mike's been involved heavily in service, Kevin has, and Sam and Nick with the recent event that we had. I mean, you know, these guys have given a lot of themselves, not just you know, as athletes, but as members of the Notre Dame community, and I'm extremely proud of them, and their parents should be very proud of them as well. They're all going to graduate here in the next few months, and you know, to earn a degree here, and also to have the experience, you know, playing college hockey here and watching the transformation of our program with the new facilities. And you know, I'm really proud of them. You know, they've all had different roles, and they've all been on their highs and lows, but you know, every one of them has persevered and been extremely successful in almost every aspect of their daily lives here at Notre Dame.
Very well said. One final question, I'll let Sam handle this. The helmet that Kevin is holding right now, the brand new color design. What do you guys think of the new color design? You like it? It matches the football helmets and the Golden Dome. So, was it extra special to put that helmet on for the first time?
Yeah, and I think everyone was really excited about it. It's kind of the brand of Notre Dame is that Golden Dome, and you know, to follow what football did, and you know, they used these, I think, starting last year, and for us to get them, I think, you know, it's kind of that gold standard, and you know, I don't know if you can relate that to a helmet, but it's definitely shiny, and you know, I think guys like wearing it. It's you know, it's something that's kind of new, and I think a lot of recruits will really like it.
And most importantly, we're undefeated in that helmet, right? Just saying. Good luck, Charlie. The seniors have to go, but a round of applause, Nick Larson, who was not here, Sam Calabrese, Kevin Nugent, and Mike Johnson. Thank you guys very much. A reminder, Friday night, 7:35, face-off the Irish and Bowling Green. Early fans receive a cowbell sponsored by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Also, for you season ticket holders, it is Season Ticket Holder Appreciation Night. Season ticket holders will be chosen to ride the Zamboni, participate in Shuffle Puck, and win other prizes, including a Defending the Blue Line jersey, so keep that in mind Friday night. Before we get to a couple of questions from our audience here tonight, Coach, just kind of sum up last weekend against Western Michigan, a 3-3 tie Friday and a 1-1 tie on Saturday.
Well, you know, I think the weekend was a fairly positive weekend for us. I mean, since I've been here, you know, Western Michigan's been one of the tougher places for us to play. We haven't had great success there, but for us to go in there, especially with Western playing as well as they have this year, for us to go in there and to play two gritty games, I mean, they were very much like playoff games, and you know, both teams played well. I have to say Western played well, but I thought we played well too, and you know, I think with a break here and there, we could have won both games. But you know, the big thing for me is that I'm seeing, you know, our confidence starting to come back, and seeing us, you know, starting to play well defensively, starting to see us, you know, certain parts of our game get back to where they were before Christmas. And you know, as you asked me earlier on the radio, is that you know, this little stretch that we've had, you know, starting back to, you know, maybe that Saturday night against Ferris State, all of a sudden we're starting to turn the corner a little bit against much better teams than what we played in the first half. So that's a positive sign, and you know, hopefully we can, you know, add a few more parts to our game that we still need to improve on before we get into the playoffs. I mean, you know, we have a few weeks to do that.
We have some questions from our audience and attendance, and to build up the Western Michigan game, I've got more response from the play-by-play Saturday of the Zamboni incident before the shootout than the actual game itself. I've gotten several notes remarking The play-by-play was just hysterical of what was going on. And if you weren't there, the guy with the Zamboni machine driving it just missed some spots in the middle. It didn't go down to where Summeray's goal was. There was just snow everywhere, so they had to bring it back out. It was chaos, 7-8 minutes. Somebody wants to know, let's see, it's Greg. Have you ever seen a situation like that with the Zamboni machine?
Well, if we want to get into the tactics of the shootout, I'm just grateful that next weekend will be the last time we ever potentially could be in a shootout. So, and that's part of the reason why. If you think that our two teams battled for 120 minutes to 2 tie hockey games, both teams played extremely hard, and we rely to earn 1 point basically, and we rely on single shots on the goalie for a secondary point. To me, it's crazy. I've never been a fan of the shootout. I mean, I learned that when I was involved with USA Hockey in the international game. It's not the way to end games, tie games. I'd be okay if we went to 4-on-4 in overtime, but try to finish the game, try to get a winner out of the game. But I'm not a fan of the shootout, and those are just situations. There's been situations in the past too that they are fun to watch on TV. I'll admit it, but. Friday night after the game, our kids played a pretty good hockey game, and they walk away like they just lost a big game. And it was the other way on Saturday night. It worked both ways, but I think that there's something to be said for kissing your sister once in a while.
And there's no shootout in Hockey East next year, unless there's a major rule change, which is not going to happen, right? Okay. We've got Robert, season ticket holder for 3 years. Coach, he wants to know, how do you keep the team fresh with a bye coming up in the CCHA tournament?
Well, I don't know if it's about fresh. It's a matter of keeping them competitive. I think that the big thing is we'll take a couple of days off next week, but we'll continue to work on our conditioning, and we're going to have to. I mean, the biggest thing of having the bye week is to make sure that you got to have that competitive aspect to your practices, because they're going to miss out on that for 10 days, and we'll probably do a lot of battle type stuff and competitive stuff next week when we practice, and then next Saturday, like we've done in the past, is we'll probably scrimmage a fair amount, try to actually make it game-like and create scrimmage situations the following week in practice where we do a lot of 5-on-5 play and make it more game-like. Because that first period of that Friday night is always the biggest challenge. Getting that competitive edge back. We just saw what it was like after Christmas break. Well, this isn't nearly as long, but you still lose a little bit of that edge, and you have to make sure that first period on Friday night that you're ready to go, and that's always the biggest challenge.
Coach, we have a question from John, a 15-year season ticket holder. Has a question about the Miami series. He says, Friday's game, it seemed like it was hard getting the puck out of the blue line. What did you change up for Sunday's game?
Well, I think Miami obviously was more hyped up in their building with the crowd noise. It was a lot more of an advantage for them to have the home ice advantage in their building than it was in Chicago. But I thought our defensemen kept the game much simpler due to the ice conditions. They knew that they had to make simple plays with the puck. They had to get it out of the zone was the first priority. I mean, that should be our priority every night, but sometimes, when they're in the normal game environment, they think they can make an extra play, they can make an extra pass, and I think that the ice conditions forced us to realize, hey, keeping it simple is a good thing, and it actually helped us in many ways against Miami because they're a good transition team, and we minimized their transition by making sure that we didn't turn the puck over in our end or at the offensive blue line, which was another area that I thought we did a much better job on Sunday.
Coach Joe, 3-year season ticket holder, doesn't have a question, he just has a comment. He just wanted to say thank you for beating Michigan 4 times so far this year. We could see him again, so no bulletin board material. They just swept Ohio State in Columbus last weekend. They'll be dangerous come tournament time. We have Tracy, 4-year season ticket holder, having just played in the Hockey City Classic. How exciting would it be to play a game in Notre Dame Stadium?
Well, I think that's something that would be nice down the road. I think the outdoor games are getting overdone, but I think that would be a very special experience. But you have to do it at the right time. You'd have to do it against the right opponent. you'd have to, it'd have to be. I mean, to me, that's where I wanted our first outdoor game to be. But I love the experience, but I'm not sure, that hockey should be played in football stadiums. I mean, that's just my opinion. But if there was one stadium that I think it would be great for our hockey program, it would obviously be Notre Dame Stadium. And thinking back to what Newt Rockney said about hockey a long time ago, I don't know if that will ever happen, but I think that it would be a very unique experience, and it would be probably a great experience for our program and all of our players to be able to play, in that historic stadium.
We have a question from Jeff, 7-year season ticket holder. Jeff wants to know, what does assistant coach Andy Slager do away from the bench in the first 2 periods? He's always on the bench in the 3rd period.
Well, I mean, first of all, Andy's on the road a lot recruiting, and sometimes he's not here, but when he is for home games, he generally is, and he's kind of like our eye in the sky, who watches the opposing team, see if there's adjustments that need to be made between periods. And we've actually, here recently, because we have such an outstanding volunteer assistant coach, and Jason Nightingale, we've actually brought Andy down to the bench for the entire game over the last several games. So that's something that we may continue to do here over the playoffs, because Jason is, he can evaluate as well as anyone as far as upstairs, and give us an idea who's playing well, who's not playing well, because we have constant communication behind the bench from the coach in the stands, just to know if there's certain things about our game or adjustments the opposing team has made that we have to adjust to. So there are, critical points that our coaches upstairs generally give us a good idea of things or players that we need to adjust.
I don't pick the questions, I just read them. My son has a question, or actually 2 for you. Cooper, where are you, Cooper? Over there somewhere? There he is. He wants to know, Coach, when are you going to get a real play-by-play broadcaster? Second one, what makes Anders Lee so good?
Well, Anders is he's a great athlete, first and foremost. He's got good hockey instincts, and he's got he's got a gifted skill set. I mean, his shot, his hands for a big guy. He's improved his skating since he's been here, but I think the biggest thing is his competitiveness and and his athleticism. Probably having been a multi-sport athlete in high school, I think that certainly helped make him a better athlete, and that's made him a better hockey player. And his character has a lot to do with that too, because that determines his work ethic and his discipline. And he has his moments where he's just dominant. We just need to find a way to get that out of him almost every shift. And he's close, but every player still has to have that level of consistency. And I think that he gets frustrated when he doesn't score, but he does a lot more for us than just score goals.
We have Tom, season ticket holder for 10 years. He wants to know, what will be the level of competition when the Irish join the Hockey East Conference next year?
Well, I think people are going to be really pleased with the style of play of Hockey East. Is a really high-tempo style. People may have remembered Merrimack here last year, Boston College, Boston University. I mean, you're going to see a lot of teams that play very similar to Michigan or Miami in our conference that play a real high-tempo style. I think top to bottom over the last 15, 20 years has probably been the best conference in college hockey. If you consider some of the great teams that BC's had, BU, Maine, UNH, and you got the up-and-comers right now, like Providence College's program is really turning the corner. UMass, Lowell's turning the corner as far as their program goes. You got UConn coming into the conference in 2 years, so I think it's going to be a great conference. I think our fans are going to really enjoy the level of play. You're dealing with almost, I think 10 of the 12 schools are going to be Division I schools that operate very similar to how we operate. I think it's a great fit for us. And the nice thing is because they're only going to be, when UConn gets in the league in 2 years, I mean, there'll be 22 league games, but that's going to afford us the opportunity to have, 12 additional games non-conference in the West probably, or in the Midwest. And we'll continue to play, good hockey programs. I know that we'll probably continue to play Western Michigan. We're signed up to play Minnesota for the next 3-4 years. We'll play Penn State coming up in a few years. I mean, we'll have a lot of good programs, and yet we want to try to maintain ties with some of the CCHA schools. I know that I want to continue to try to help Lake State in their program over the next several years. And if that means we go up there once in a while too, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But the biggest thing is that we want to make sure that we're playing teams that are going to be great for our fans to enjoy and competitive for our team to really have to battle to win.
And I believe this is something you mentioned the last time we had a Q&A, but the Shillelagh tournament's coming back?
Yeah, we will host our Shillelagh tournament here as opposed to Chicago. Now that we have a venue that can support 4 teams, we'll have that tournament. We'll be here next year, and Western Michigan will be part of that tournament on an annual basis. And then we'll invite different teams each year to be a part of that tournament. And that'll be held over Thanksgiving weekend every year. So that's when teams generally have a weekend off, and it's always a good weekend for us to, our students aren't necessarily always here, but we have such a great fan base, loyal fan base that clamors for tickets, so that'll be a good opportunity for them to see some real good college hockey and not just us.
Bowling Green in town this weekend, 7:35 on Friday, 7:05 on Saturday. Give us a little preview of that series and what exactly is at stake for your team in this series.
Well, Bowling Green's probably the most improved team in our conference this year. They put on a real drive last year in the playoffs, and this year they started off a little bit slow, but in the second half, I mean, we saw it when we played there in the early part of January, that they're really starting to play well. I mean, they've had good success in the second half against a lot of pretty good hockey teams, and Chris Bergeron has done a great job. He's probably one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year in our conference, and he's got a good young team because they're not only a pretty good team right now, they're going to be better because they're young, and they've got some real bright young players from what I see on film, and after having played them a couple times. They compete hard. They put a lot of pressure on you. They play, since Chris is from Miami, I mean, they play a lot like Miami of Ohio. They're not quite as deep as Miami is today, but I think they're heading in that direction, and it's going to be a real challenge for us. And like the guy said, I mean, we're still playing for positioning in our conference, even though we've locked up at least 3rd place. If we can move up, that would be ideal. And we are still, playing for NCAA positioning, which is, a big part of what happens at the end of the season. So we need to win games to secure an NCAA bid, and our number 1 goal is to win Friday night. I want to keep our guys focused on, the process, because regardless if we get in the playoffs, if we don't start, improving certain parts of our game, we're not going to go as deep as we'd like to. And there's still a couple parts of our game that need to be improved, and that's what this weekend is all about before we start the playoffs.
I mentioned Friday's game, 7:35, Saturday, 7:05, senior night pregame recognition. 1 lucky fan will be chosen to win a car during the first intermission, Red Line Rapid Fire. All you have to do is make 25 pucks in 30 seconds from center ice. Any tips? Just swing and close your eyes, I guess. All right, and prizes will be awarded for every 5 pucks you make. And as season ticket holders, just a reminder, if you can't use your tickets, you can easily forward them to friends and family via e-ticket transfer. Just log into und.com/tickets, or for more information, call the ticket office at 574-631-7356. 2 more notes for you. First, you can purchase a camo hat at either game this weekend at the main entrance, and following Saturday's game, you can toss it onto the ice during the stick salute. All hats will be donated to wounded soldiers. Also, the Irish have clinched a bye in the CCHA playoffs. The playoffs will get underway at the Compton Family Ice Arena March 15th, 16th, and if necessary, 17th. The opponent we don't know, of course, as of yet, but as season ticket holders, you have your tickets already for that series. The tickets are on sale right now for everybody else. If you want to get tickets, we'd love to have you, because I believe the students might be on spring break at that time. So we need the support of the community for this series. So mark it down, March 15th and 16th, game 1 and 2 of the second round of the CCHA playoffs, if necessary, March the 17th. This is going to be our final Q&A for the season. One final thought to the fans out there for a great season today?
Well, I did have a tip for that shooter for 40, 45 pucks, and just not to have the Western Michigan Zamboni driver. How's that? No, in all reality, I want to thank all our fans. I mean, what a great year as far as our support goes. Some of the crowds are just unbelievable, supporting us. Even during those downtimes that we had in January, everybody stood by us, and I think that goes a long ways for our guys to recover and actually start playing the way they're capable of again. And we do appreciate all your support and all that you've done for us throughout the years, let alone this year. And my only request is to try to encourage everyone to get there a little early so we have a nice full building for that senior class to be recognized on Saturday night.
Very good. Coach Jackson, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck the rest of the way. Irish head coach Jeff Jackson, our Q&A with Jeff Jackson, presented by Outback Steakhouse and Bonefish Grill. Once again, Friday night, 7:35, Saturday, 7:05, the Irish final ever regular season CCHA games. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for your time, and go Irish!